So let's talk about plankton. So we're going to begin with phytoplankton. So you can see here's plankton from SpongeBob, but here is what phytoplankton looks like. Now these are totally magnified because they are microscopic, very, very tiny. So they are mostly plant-like organisms that make their food by photosynthesis. So they are producers, right? They're not consumers. They're not feeding off other animals. They are taking the sunlight and converting it into energy. So phytoplankton are the most important part of the ocean's important part of the ocean because creatures feed off of them. They are like the base of the ocean food web. So they're what started off kind of Earth and life on Earth. They are found floating along near the top of the sunlight zone because that's where the light is. And they carry out most of the Earth's photosynthesis, and as a result, they provide much of the Earth's oxygen. They actually are pretty much like 50% of the Earth's oxygen. Trees make up the other 50, right? So we're going to watch a short video about phytoplankton.
Today's oceans are far more than just reservoirs of water that fill and empty as the continents move. They are crucial for the way the planet works and for the existence of life itself. To understand why, we have to see them not as individual seas, but as a whole, one single system. Even though we can't live beneath the waves, these vast bodies of water are vital to our very existence. Much of that is down to a group of ocean inhabitants that are surrounding me. Single-celled organisms so small they're invisible to the naked eye. They're known as phytoplankton. Although phytoplankton are microscopic, they're one of the most important forms of life on Earth. To understand just how important they are, take a look at them from space. Just off the British Isles, large patches of the sea are stained light green by millions upon millions of individual phytoplankton, known as blooms. These blooms appear around the world's oceans. And it's because phytoplankton are so abundant that they can affect the whole planet. Without phytoplankton in the oceans, there wouldn't be any fish or turtles swimming around. Phytoplankton is the first meal in the ocean food chain. But surprisingly, as well as being a primary source of nourishment for creatures in the sea, these tiny organisms help all animals on Earth to breathe. Phytoplankton can do this because they photosynthesize. They turn carbon dioxide in sunlight into energy in order to live. And this releases a very important byproduct: oxygen. This process takes place on a global scale. All these green patches show areas of phytoplankton, and they're all producing oxygen, which fills the seas and the atmosphere. Oxygen is vital to all animals, in the sea, on land, and in the air. Phytoplankton produce something like 50% of all the oxygen on Earth, about as much as the world's forests and jungles combined. But producing oxygen is just the start of it. The secret to the sea's power over all life on Earth, its greatest power, is a